Hello and welcome to the Daily Meal for Saturday, the 28th of December 2024. In today's Millwall news, we have this from the londonnewsonline.co.uk. So finally, we've had news at 10, Southern News report about the Alex Neil situation yesterday. We've had the Daily Telegraph report about it as well. We now have the South London Press. So let's see if there's any new details in this story from Richard Corley. Millwall agreed deal for Alex Neil to be new head coach. Millwall have agreed a deal for Alex Neil to be their new head coach. The 43-year-old. 43. Damn. Is set to be confirmed in the post. That's why it's taken a while, yeah, because of the Royal Mail, huh? By the start of next week with his first match, a home fixture against Oxford United at the Den. David Livermore has been in caretaker charge since Neil Harris quit earlier this month. So there we go. So he's going to be confirmed by the start of next week. So Monday. I think that after we get heavily beaten at Coventry tomorrow, they'll announce it then. He's probably rumoured to be going to the game, so I imagine they'd take pictures with him. The photographer, I assume Brian Tonks, is going to be at the game, maybe. And he can be there to take some pictures, which, would be weird to take pictures at another club's ground, but, it is what it is, I guess. We'll see. Maybe not. But it would be a good thing to distract from an away defeat, which is what I think is probably half expected, seeing as we've only won one away game all season. Livermore has been told that we still have a backroom post after the Lions fill their vacancy. Alex Neil, Wycombe Wanderers boss Matt Bloomfield and Steve Schumacher, who has managed at Plymouth and Stoke City, were all on the shortlist for the job in South London. Neil has been out of work since being sacked by Stoke City in December 2023. He's won promotions with Hamilton Academicals, Norwich City and Sunderland since moving into management. He led the Canaries into the Premier League in 2015 via the playoffs, but was unable to prevent them coming straight back down. Neil was also boss Preston North End and was at their match on Boxing Day, a 1-0 victory over Hull City. Livermore, who has been Harris's number 2 during nearly the entirety of his managerial career, will be at the helm for tomorrow's trip to Coventry City. Millwall are 13th in the Championship after their 2-1 loss at Norwich on Boxing Day. Alex Neil has managed 467 matches at 5 clubs, with his first posting at Hamilton in April 2013. He did an interview in May in which he talked about sizing up his next challenge. Alex Neil said, "Obviously, I've been on a few holidays since I left Stoke, and I had time to reflect, as you do. Every club you work at is very, very different, and they're not even similar. Honestly, even the structure of things and how you report to people, and what happens is when you walk into any club, people try and paint an understanding of the situation the club is in. But every club you walk into, when you lift the bonnet up and you look under it, and you think, oh, right, okay, it's a little bit different than what I thought. And then you've got to try and make the best use of what you got and try and win as many games as you can. But yeah, for me, I just look for the next challenge and see what comes up over the summer or into next year. I want to get, to be honest, I like to try and recreate what I had at Preston in those years, in terms of having a squad I really enjoy, having players that are hungry and want to make their way and want to achieve, and you don't come across it very often. But I was fortunate, I managed to walk into the right changing room at the right time, and I'd like to try and do that again." So there you go. He's Scottish, by the way. I don't know if you understood that. I think I'm getting better, to be honest. I don't know, but we'll see. If you don't like it, hit the downvote button, the dislike button. Go on, I dare you. No, but that last, I think the reason why Richard Corley has put this section of the interview, interesting that Richard Corley would have listened to that interview. I don't know if he saw it recreated anywhere, but here's a little tip for you. If you do this, when you watch a YouTube video, if you look underneath, if on a computer you need to do this. Obviously, if you're watching YouTube via TV, you won't be able to do this, but on a computer you can. if you look underneath, it should say show transcript. And then what it'll do, it has a transcript of what's being said in the thing. And then you can go through it, you can copy and paste, you can take bits out. So that's a little tip for you if you're wanting to do things like that. If you're in the media or whatnot, or just trying to share something that someone said in an interview without just sharing the whole video, because obviously people ain't got time to look at videos, have they? You know what I mean? I think this is from the Gab Sutton interview. I haven't watched that. It's been shared around a lot. I haven't watched it. But that last paragraph, or bit, the last couple of sentences, having players that are hungry and want to make their way and want to achieve. Very interesting. We have, and it seems that we might be getting more, and that's going to be the way that we're going forward in the future, is to sign younger players who are hungry, not because we haven't fed them, but because they want to, you know, if they've come from abroad, from Serbia, they want to do well and make money and send that money back home and stuff, you know. Even, you know, younger players who've come through and they want to play in the Premier League, they have ambitions. So I think at the moment, now it would be interesting if they told Alex Neil that, you know, Romain Essa's not going anywhere this transfer window, and he does. Is that going to affect Alex Neil's desire to want to stay in the job if he loses one of the most creative players in the squad? Is he gonna think, you know, what am I doing here? Obviously, I told you the other day that there was a story that the Millwall apparently prioritising a new number 10. I said, well, is that because the Romain Essa is leaving? Which is, you know, it's not ideal. It's not ideal for us. It's not ideal for Alex Neil. But we'll wait and see. So there you go. Now, that is literally the only bit of news. And it's news you already know. Obviously, we got a quote, and I think that's probably why Richard Corley added a quote as well, just to beef it out. So obviously, this is news that was reported on yesterday. I don't know if he was like taking a day off because it's Christmas or what, or if he was just waiting to get it confirmed by people inside the club that he could publish it. I guess if it's already been out there, if it's already been leaked, obviously someone at the Daily Telegraph leaked it. So I imagine that hasn't come from the club, but that's probably come from Alex Neil's side. Obviously, he was at that game on Boxing Day, so he's probably speaking to people, and they've asked him, "Oh, you're gonna be at Millwall then?" And maybe he's told some people that he knows quite well. He said, "Yeah, but well, don't tell anyone." Obviously, what do? They tell people. So maybe that's what's happened, and then the club, via, you know, News at Den and South London Press, have had to respond. They haven't announced it officially yet, and it seems from this story that they'll be doing that on Monday. So there you go. Well, now we're going to move on to previewing a game, which is tomorrow on Sunday. I know, obviously, we did have that game on Boxing Day, but having a Saturday without any Millwall is not very good. Obviously, can't have players playing Thursday and Saturday, but I mean, yeah, not good at all. This is from 11v11.com. It's the historical record of matches between Coventry City and Millwall, and for some reason they've included some Southern League games in this. They don't do it with the other clubs that we've played in the Southern League, but they have for this. And the first, it's taken a while for us to even get a point away at Coventry. I don't know what ground they were at this time. Obviously, they're in the Soulless Bowl at the moment. So if we go back to this game, 1909, 4-2 loss, and then we lose, and we drew, and then we lose, and then we lose in 1912, and then we draw 1-1 in 1913, and then we go back up to where we're in the Football League. So obviously we joined the Football League, I believe, in 1910. So we moved to the Den in New Cross in 1910. We moved into the Football League. So we played this in the Southern League at the Den from 1910 to 1920. 1920 joined the Football League, and we have our first Football League game against Coventry City, away at Coventry City in 1926. And We won that 4-1. And then we win 3-0. So, it's going very well. And then, ka-ching, no, we lose 5-1. In 1934 and 1935, we lose 5-0. What's going on? 1947, seemingly at the end of the season, 24th of May, we lose 4-0. That's not good. Again, we lose 4-1 in 1953. Ouch. Losing 4-1 in April 1955. Losing 5-1 in a date similar to the date that we're at now. On the 27th of December 1955, a 5-1 defeat. They seem to have a penchant for scoring goals against us at their own ground. Obviously, this was... What was their ground called before? Highfield Road? I did go there. Just once. I haven't been to the new ground. And then, wow, we break it up with a few wins in 1956, 1957. A 4-1 win of our own. So quite a few goals in this fixture. Even, going into the 60s, a 3-0 win for them. A 3-1 win for them again. This is not a very good fixture for Millwall, really. We didn't play them for quite some time because obviously they were top league. I think going back to even before the Premier League. But even when the Premier League started, they were mainstays. They were always there or thereabouts. Seemingly always in a relegation battle, but they're going to get out of it, aren't they? They're Coventry City. They're always there. And they always seemingly do manage to get out of it. Until they didn't. And then they get relegated and, so you can see here it says League Division 1. That's the top league. So we played them 2 times in the top division. 0-0 draw and a 3-1 defeat. And then... they dropped down. 2002, we played them again, a gap of 12 years. And then we win, because obviously they're shell-shocked. They finally, after, must have been like 25, 30 years, they get relegated from the top division. And I think, did they get relegated again? They were in League One at some point, weren't they? But yeah, so we beat them. But then... This is an interesting one. 2004, April, the week after the FA Cup semi-final that we won that got us into that final for the first time ever, we lose 4-0, which was unfortunate at the time because we were trying to get in the playoffs as well. And that kind of, oh God, here we go. So our season's fucked, but we're in the FA Cup final, so nobody really cares. But there you go. We win in 2004 in August, but then we go back to losing. A 1-0 win in 2012, a loss, a win. And then out of nowhere, at the end of the season, 8th of May 2021, a 6-1 defeat. Do you remember that game? Is that the game? I believe that's the game where Marlon Romeo played at centre-back. That was Gary Rowett playing silly buggers and moving people around. Just to see how it would go. And, well, didn't go very well at all, did it? 6-1 defeat. Wow. More recently, sort of the last 3 games we're going here. The last game was a 2-1 defeat. 1-0 defeat. Obviously, I think some of these probably would have been at Birmingham as well, wouldn't they? Even though their current ground is a soulless bowl, they fought tooth and nail to get back there because their owners kicked them out and they had to play at Birmingham City's ground. So, yeah, what is going to happen? You would imagine if it goes to the historical record, as it's been over the years, we might be looking at quite a heavy defeat, especially with the way that they've set up under Frank Lampard. They seem to be scoring a lot of goals, and if we look now, is it this one or this one? It's this one. So you can see the last 6 games, obviously, there haven't been any draws. Maybe it's time for a draw. They've won 4. We've won 2. 11 goals scored by them, 6 by us. 4 yellow cards for them, only an 11 for us, and 1 red card, which is interesting because we'll get onto the cards in a minute. But this is, again, extra motivation for them. Now, in this league is a crazy league. You need to string a few wins together if you want to climb up the table. You need to maybe win 2 in 3 or 4 in 6 if you want to get maybe like 5 places up the table. We're 13th, they're 15th. If they beat us tomorrow, if they win, they will go above us. So they will jump up maybe 2, maybe more places, 3 places, depending on what the other teams around us do. So this is extra motivation for them. One win will see them climb up the table. Whereas normally you need to string a couple together. Or they did win their last game. And you can see here, they have won, lost, 1. So there you go. If we look at the home form, obviously this they've had 2 managers so far this season. New managers come in. He's had maybe 3 or 4 games. So we'll see how that goes. For home form, they're 15th in the division. They've won 5, drawn 4, drawn 2, lost 4, scored 22, conceded 16. So that's the home form. Obviously, have they lost at home since Thingy's come in? Maybe not. Now, obviously, we know our away form is really bad, but we're only 14th in the division, which is halfway, just below halfway. So there are some really, really bad away teams in this division because we have got 8 points on the road, 1 win, 5 draws. We've lost 4, so we haven't lost that many. It's just all the draws. We've only scored 8 goals, which is less than 1 per game. 10 games. And we've only conceded 11, which is just over 1 per game. So again, we'll get into it in a minute. If we do that, and we do that, so you can see their home form. Now, interesting. So I mentioned before that if we go up and see the cards, 4 yellow cards in 6 games, but for us 11. Now that's over the last 6 games going back to 2016. But Coventry's last 6 home games, 3 of the opposition have had red cards. That's highly unusual. What's that about? Is there some do they play dirty? Do they get players sent off? Do they stop, drop and roll? Like they're on fire when they get kicked? Do they dive? Do they play? Do they try to do that kind of thing? Because this is unusual. In 6 games, 3 of the opposition have had players sent off. That's not normal. So that is kind of weird. You can see here, they seem to be very gung-ho and very sloppy at the back. They've scored 4 against Plymouth in the last home game, and that was on Boxing Day, and they kept a clean sheet in that game. So only clean sheet in the last 6 home games. In 4 of their last 6 home games, they conceded 2 goals against Sheffield United, who are very good, but also against Cardiff, who are not, against Luton, and against Derby, which they lost because they only scored 1 goal. But they have scored in every single of their last 6 home games, scoring 4, 2, 2, 2, 1, and 3. So for Millwall, who, if we look at Millwall, we can see again binary. Although the last game we did concede 2 goals, which is unusual for us. Normally it's 1. We cannot score more than 1 goal. It's highly unlikely that we're going to keep Coventry to a clean sheet. We have to outshoot them. Which, it can be done. They did lose, but it was an away. They lost away to Portsmouth 4-1. So, it can be done. It can be done, but probably not with the team that we're going to be playing tomorrow. Yeah. So if we look at the strengths and weaknesses, you can see Mill strengths, their strengths and weaknesses, etc., etc. Maybe if we are looking to keep a clean sheet, we might have to try and keep the ball more. And not give it away, because I think if you give it to them, they will just attack with it. So we might have to just be boring and do keep ball, which is not a thing that we can do really. It's not how we play, but I mean, it's away from home. The fans are probably not going to boo you. But yeah, I think if we do what we normally do, which is let them have it, they're going to let us have it in terms of goals. Bosh. So yeah. So go to the preview from whoscored.com. Obviously, lineups are all over the place. This is written at probably short notice. They don't really know. It's probably written before the Boxing Day games was even finished. Coventry have won their last 4 matches against Millwall in all competitions. There have been over 2.5 goals scored in Coventry's last 3 games, which is, since Frank Lampard came back in as a manager for Coventry. So, prediction. Josh Eccles was at the heart of the dominant Coventry performance on Boxing Day as the Sky Blues returned to winning ways with a 4-0 victory against a struggling Plymouth side. Frank Lampard's men have won back-to-back league games at the Coventry Building Society Arena heading into game week 24. Romanis' second half strike proved to be nothing more than a consolation on Thursday as Millwall were beaten 2-1 on the road by Norwich. The Lions are falling away after a positive start to the campaign and travel to the Midlands, having lost 4 of their last 5 championship matches. And they say Coventry 2, Millwall 1. Coventry 2, Millwall 1. Yeah. Let's moving on to this preview. Go all the way back up. This is from sportsmole.co.uk. Looking to secure back-to-back wins, Coventry City will welcome Millwall to the Coventry Building Society Arena for a championship battle on Sunday afternoon. It's a 3 o'clock kickoff. 3 o'clock kickoff. The Sky Blues managed a handsome home success on Boxing Day at the expense of Plymouth Argyle, whilst the Lions lost out at Norwich City. After a 4-1 away defeat at the base of Portsmouth on December 21st, when Callum Lang netted all 4 goals for Pompey, Coventry City returned to winning ways at their East Midlands base last time out, securing a 4-goal battering of relegation friend Plymouth, who looked destined for the drop. All of the Boxing Day damage was done during a pulsating opening 45 minutes at the CBS Arena, with a rare Josh Eccles brace alongside strikes from Tatsuhiro Sakamoto and Ephraim Mason-Clark sealing another victory in the East Midlands at the start of Frank Lampard's tenure. Ahead of their final second-tier fixture of the 2024 calendar year, Coventry are currently occupying 15th spot in the Championship standings, 8 points above Hull City in the highest ever relegation spots, 10 points back from Watford, who are guarding entry to the playoffs. Lampard's troops will need to improve their home form if they wish to have any chance of mounting an unlikely push for the top 6 during the second half of the 24-25 term, with the Sky Blues mustering just 5 wins across 11 championship matches at home so far. The attacking antics of American marksman Aji Wright will be vital in Coventry's aim of pushing towards the upper echelons of the championship rankings, with the towering forward netting 7 goals across 15 league appearances before suffering a leg injury at the start of November. Since the departure of the former head coach Neil Harris on December 14th, Millwall have endured a mixed festive period under the leadership of an interim coaching team, securing a 1-goal win over Blackburn Rovers on December the 21st before losing out at Norwich on a misty Boxing Day. Well, fucking misty today. Don't know about Boxing Day, very misty today. The Lions were put down in a frantic first period at the Canaries' East Anglian base. Why does he keep using the word base for? With strikes in the opening 40 minutes from Emiliano Marcandos and Oscar Sforta, securing the points for the hosts, although Romanis managed to bag a consolation for the visitors in the second half. Winning just one of their last 8 second-tier matches as the final game of the 24 year approaches on Sunday afternoon, Millwall are perched in 13th place in the championship table, 9 points ahead of the relegation zone and 9 points behind Watford in the luxury of 6th spot. Rather unsurprisingly, the Lions have been poor on their second-tier travel so far during the 24-25 campaign, with Sunday afternoon's visitors to the CBS Arena victorious in just one of their 10 championship away matches, with the solitary success coming back in October at Swansea City. And that was very late as well. Just like that Blackburn home game the other day, Very, very late goal. Very, very late goal. So they talk about the injuries. Coventry are battling on through the festive calendar without the services of goalkeeper Ben Wilson, who is targeting a New Year return from knee injury. The Sky Blues are also deeply missing the talents of Haji Wright, with the club's leading marksman still recovering from a leg injury sustained a few months ago. Millwall's medical room is packed to the brim in comparison to Coventry's, including with youngster Adamian Maku, who picked up a groin injury on Boxing Day. The 21-year-old joins a number of veterans of the Lions side on the treatment table, such as Dan McNamara and towering centre-back Jake Cooper. On loan from Middlesbrough for the 24-25 campaign, Josh Coburn's progression at the Den has been severely curbed by a broken foot sustained at the start of the festive period. And they predict Coventry City 2, Millwall 0. After battering the Green Army at the CBS Arena on Boxing Day, Coventry will be confident of repeating the trick against the Millwall side, who do not travel well. The Lions have suffered with a lack of direction under the interim management, and we believe that their final match of 2024 will end in an East Midlands defeat. Yeah, I mean, look, 73%, 74% think Coventry are going to win. I think Coventry are going to win. Apparently there's going to be like 1,132 Millwall fans there. I think it's going to be really unfortunate, you know. I can see a heavy defeat. You know, I've just shown you over the years how badly we've lost there. Obviously, we played them quite recently. We played them on the 7th of December at home, and they beat us 1-0. I would say, I could see this being 4-0, maybe 4-1. I think, yeah, Coventry City 4, Millwall 1. Yeah, don't get your hopes up. I mean, yeah, we got a load of players injured. We got good players missing. And the way we set up, it doesn't seem to be conducive to getting away wins. So we'll see about that. I think, you know, if we play the normal way that we play, or we just give the opposition the ball and then try and press them or get them high up or try and counter them, I think they're just going to steamroll us, you know. And I can see it being 4-1. So there you go. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.